안녕하세요. 저는 violinist Stefan Jakiv입니다. I'm violinist Stefan Jakiv. It's a pleasure to be here in Seoul. It's such a joy to be back here with the Seoul Philharmonic. I have such warm memories of my past collaborations with this orchestra. Their warmth, their excellence, their inspiration are things that I really remember. And today in rehearsal, playing the Bruch Scottish Fantasy with them, I was again filled with these happy memories and inspiration. Also, performing in Korea, of course, is particularly meaningful for me because I'm half Korean. I spent much of my childhood here in Korea visiting family, and I've probably performed in Korea more than in any other foreign country for me. So I have a very special love for Korean audiences, for the love for classical music here and Korean musicians. So Max Bruch is best known for his violin concerto in G minor, but this Scottish Fantasy, I think, is even more creative and even more special for me than his more famous G minor violin concerto. The Scottish Fantasy is a little bit unusual. Most concertos are in 3 movements, but this piece is in 4 movements. So we get an extra movement, and that extra movement is an extra slow movement, which is one of the most beautiful things I think ever written for the violin. You know, Bruch himself actually never visited Scotland before writing this piece, but he loved Scottish music, and he found authentic traditional Scottish folk tunes and folk melodies in a library in Germany. And he incorporated a lot of these Scottish folk music into this violin concerto, and then created all these variations and fantasies on these original Scottish tunes. You know, Bruch, I think, is one of the most sincerely sentimental composers there is. There's such sincerity and honesty, I think, in his music. And this piece is very evocative, I think, of kind of the Scottish countryside, the sea, the greenery, the rolling hills of Scotland. But it's funny to think that he conjured all of this in his music without ever having seen Scotland. So it's sort of like a memory of a trip to Scotland that never actually happened. I have been to Scotland, and it was interesting to visit Scotland after having played this piece many times, seeing sort of like that greenery and this sort of pastoral quality, this beauty of Scottish countryside. I think you can hear that in this music. So Mayan and I share a school. We both studied at the New England Conservatory in Boston. I don't know if we ever officially met when we were there, although we were there at the same time. But we met for the first time that I remember about 2 years ago. We played actually this piece, this Bruch Scottish Fantasy, together in Arizona in the United States. And Mayan has just such a joyful, enthusiastic, sensitive energy. The way she conducts rehearsals, there's just so much happiness and joy and brightness in her personality and in her music making. She's an incredibly sensitive listener, and as a soloist, it's so wonderful to have a conductor who brings so much joy and happiness to rehearsals and to the music. It makes it so fun, it makes it so comfortable, makes it so joyful. So I'm thrilled to be playing this piece with her again, and just to be spending time with her again. Hello, all the fans and supporters of the Seoul Philharmonic. It is such a pleasure and an honor to be back with this great orchestra in this great city. I invite you to attend one of our concerts on Thursday and Friday. We'll be playing Bruch's great Scottish Fantasy for violin and orchestra, as well as a piece by Eunsook Chin and Rimsky-Korsakov's Scheherazade. It's a really interesting, fascinating, exciting program. And as you all know, this is one of the world's great orchestras, so please come hear us.